Yo, 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 what's going on? Jumped on late this week, huh? It's me this time
No,
around.
it's not late. It's 11:59, isn't it?
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, we still early. We still
Oh,
we still
good,
on time,
good,
really.
good.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, we
I'm
good.
talking
It's 11:59.
about. That's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna dig into the comments right away.
Oh
Frank,
yeah.
he's already in there. Sending for everybody to hit that like button. Hey guys, we really, really appreciate the boost that we've been getting on these bi-weekly lives. It seems that we're hitting some very interesting topics that everybody are enjoying. And bringing on guests, known, unknown, and bringing everybody to the forefront. You know, we can all do this thing together. There's so many genes out here. No one breeder can work them all. What's
No, not at
going
all.
on? How you holding up
Just
this week, man?
pretty good, pretty good. I know. Hey, thanks for everybody for showing up because I know it's Super Bowl Sunday and everybody's like,
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to tune into too much.
I know, I
Maybe on
know.
the way, if you're on the car ride going to somebody's house, I get it. I get it,
I'm
100%.
gonna sound horrible because my sons, they were just asking me was I gonna watch the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I said, when is it? They said it's today. And you know what my next question was? Who playing? No, that's how crazy. That's how crazy it's been, man.
Hey,
I didn't know
hey,
who was in the Super Bowl and when the Super Bowl was.
the
It's
only
just,
thing I care about is halftime. Kendrick coming on. That's all I want to see. That's
oh
it.
my
I don't
gosh,
care who wins, who lose, whatever. I just want to see Kendrick come out.
that's
I want to
wild
hear if
work.
he says A minor or not. if he
Oh
says that
my
song, that's all I
god,
want to see. Yeah,
KND,
my boy won 5 Grammys for one song.
crazy,
Think
crazy,
of that.
crazy.
5 Grammys for one song. And I didn't even watch that, but just hearing about it on social media and everything.
Look at all the early love. That's what I'm talking about. Banner, Princess
What's
Banner
her
in the house
name?
as well. Audra's in the
Chef
comments.
Vanna.
You know, you know
Audra.
the,
Is she
the
cleaning
homie.
rodents right now?
No, actually, she does rodents typically on Wednesdays. So she'll knock
Oh,
those
okay.
out, I believe, this Wednesday before we get ready to head over to Atlanta to the show.
Yeah. What's good,
Yeah,
Josh?
definitely, definitely, definitely. So this week, look, you guys are going to be staring at more than just our two faces. We're going to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Balls of Fury, one of the owners of Balls of Fury, internet wonder, sensation, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mike. We're going to bring him on now, pick his brain apart, throw a bunch of questions into the comments. We'll make sure we get to them, but he has blown me away, especially being newer breeder and being at the level where he's at already, working with some of the combinations he's working with, and being such a social media icon. I even say he's going to be
He's
modest with it.
big. He's
He's huge
big.
right now. So let's
To
dig
come out the
in.
gate and have that many followers, yeah, he's big. He's big.
That's
We
what
got
I'm
to give it
talking
up
about.
to him.
What's going
What's
on, homie?
up? What's up? How y'all
How you
doing?
doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
well. Doing well. Can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. And I'm sure anybody that's watching us right now, they've seen your face, they've seen your reels. But introduce yourself for us.
So, what's going on, everybody in the chat? Appreciate y'all showing up and showing support. My name is Mike. I am one of the owners and the founder of Balls of Fury Ball Pythons. I'm located in Rhode Island, um, and I love ball pythons. That's pretty much all you need to know about me.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So how long you been doing it?
So, I kept ball pythons back. I think I got my first ball python at the age of 14 when I
Okay.
was a teenager. I had a bunch of different reptiles growing up. I had a green iguana, all different sorts of things. And
Mhm.
breeding wise, I didn't get into it until 2020 was when I started to try to breed
Okay.
or
See,
started investing, I should say.
right.
Yeah.
Freshly
You
new.
didn't have your first clutch in 2020, or is it kind of like you were just picking
No,
up?
my first clutch I had in 2022.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
First clutch was
Oh, so you had it 2
2022.
years after you got in the game?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
That's what's
sir.
up.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's pretty good.
everything that we bought or invested in, we bought as babies. So we had to grow them up for
Yep.
2 years,
Yep.
and once we just kind of been breeding stuff as they come up to size.
Yep.
Makes
That's how I
sense.
started. I
Yup,
started off with babies.
I think that's the
So,
best way to do it, man. I think that gives you such an advantage, especially like if you get the females first as
mhm,
babies.
and
Yep.
grow them out. Wow.
Now, at that 2 year mark, how big were your females?
What's that, brother?
How big were your females at that 2 year mark?
So the first female, she was probably right at about like 1,400 grams. I had 3 females go in 2022. The smallest one I bred was 1,250 when I started pairing her. She was 1,250 grams. And then the third one, she was around like 1,400 grams.
Mm.
So
Wow.
What's up, Wiz? No, so okay, so when I got in, yeah, that was forbidden. You got to wait until they're 1,600 plus. You started way too early. No, it's good. It's good.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
tell
what I
people
was
go
saying.
ahead. Yeah,
Right.
that was a
Things have
staple in
changed.
our industry. Was like, oh yeah, you're breeding a baby. No, come on. If she's ready, she's ready. She's gonna go. She's gonna go.
Right.
Period.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I've heard Miguel say this a lot too. He's like, they don't have a scale out in the wild that they go and weigh themselves on. They just breed.
Right.
That's
Right.
it. They do. It's true. It's like, hey, oh, you're not big enough. I don't think you're mature. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That
All about
male is
them
not waiting.
follicles. All
Oh
about
yeah.
them follicles.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Do you palpate or do you ultrasound?
I tried palpating early on, but I got the ultrasound machine right at the beginning of the 2022 season, my first season. So
Okay.
that was a huge help. I'm a chiropractor, guys, and I couldn't feel anything in my snakes. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't
Really?
palpate them for
Oh,
shit.
so even after having it, do you say, okay, so now you can see the size of the follicles? Do you still like, okay, let me wonder if I can feel it? You never
Yeah,
tried
I
after
do
you got
try to.
everything?
I do try to still
Yeah.
palpate them, like even with the ultrasound machine, just to try to practice. And I really can only feel them once they get like super big.
Right.
It's a
Right.
lost art. It's a lost art. It's okay though.
No, you just gotta have them office hands you got over there.
Whatever, guy. Hey,
For real.
what does he do? He's a chiropractor. So
Yeah,
button up.
seriously. And I still can't. I still can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it at all. Right out the gate, I'm like, yeah, I got nothing but calluses from the weight room, and my hands are numb. I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. I need me an ultrasound ASAP.
But he's colorblind too, so
Yeah,
don't worry about that either.
yep. That's all right. Audra does all the color coding, so I'm good on that on that tab.
Hey,
Definitely.
there's other signs you can look at too that point to them building as well. So the ultrasound
Yeah.
machine, it's a great piece of equipment. It definitely helps me a lot, but I pay
Mhm.
attention to their behavior too. Their behavior will tell you a lot.
Right.
Yeah, that too. Yes, and I don't know. Do you ever pay attention? You see the glow in your
Oh yeah.
females as they get to
I've
size.
I've
Yeah,
got I've got a yellow belly pied right now, female, who is
Mhm.
about to ovulate. And I'd say when she got to like 25, 27 millimeters, she was super dark. All of a sudden,
Mhm.
she turned like a tan color. And I was like, what
yeah,
is going on with this snake?
yeah.
Wow.
That's the
And she was
glows.
glowing crazy.
Come
What's
on, have you
going
seen
on,
Show
Chris?
Enough? You seen Show Enough the movie, the Last Dragon?
Yeah.
Yes,
Show
yes.
Enough. That's the glow. I call it the
That's
glow.
the
Those
glow,
females
huh?
with that glow is good to go.
That's a good
When they glow,
comparison.
they're gonna go.
That's
So
a great comparison.
when you jumped in, what drew you? What projects did you jump into first, and what drew you to those projects?
Oh man, like many people, I didn't invest in the right things at first. The first ball python I bought in 2020 was a spider ball python, and it was a male. So that's what started my collection. And then the second snake I bought was another spider combo and a male to top it off. So I started off with 2 males, both had spider. Um, but as I started looking at more morphs, like watching Justin's videos, Miguel's
Mhm.
videos, Brian, of course, I really was drawn to the Dream School ball python. And when I met my partner Darius, I had a poster on my wall of all different sorts of like ball python morphs, and I was like, "Pick out your favorite morph on the poster." And he picked
Mhm.
out the Dream Skull as well. So I was like, "Well, it looks like we're going into the lavender
Yeah,
pied
yeah.
realm."
Right, right, right. Now, is you and Darius? Is it another person too, or is just y'all two?
Yeah, it's me, Darius, my buddy AJ, and my buddy Dre. They're
Okay,
all
I think
part
I
of the
met
BOF team.
Darius first. I think I met him first in person, and then
Yes,
I met
yes.
you. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. We sat and talked it up a good minute, and got a lot of jewels he dropped on me as far as social media with Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, any of them informational side, educational side of Instagram you want to drop for the people listening on how to get started, even posting pictures or videos? How did you go about it?
Yeah, just what I thought was like, so since I started with babies, I was already kind of like trying to prepare myself for starting to sell snakes when I had babies to
Right.
sell. And I felt the easiest way to do that was just start a social media page. It's free. I can market my business for free, and I'll just
Yep.
show the snakes that I have. And I just would say try to take clear, clean pictures. Have a nice background. Make sure you have good lighting. You don't want
Mhm.
any like dirty backgrounds. I mean, it just looks unprofessional. Try to make yourself look professional, and represent your brand in a professional way. And
Right.
I would just start by posting pictures and videos at a rate that's comfortable for you. Like if you can only
Mhm.
post once or twice a week, stick to that and stay consistent with it. I say consistency is one of the biggest things too.
Right. It's definitely rewarding. Now I see the racks behind you, but also in your videos, in your reels, you show a lot of DIY stuff, which is very, very huge and helpful to the beginner breeders. Like, what made you go that route, and what made you step up to the steel racks now?
Yeah, so when we first started out, like me and Darius, I took a lot of input from Darius too. That's why I like to collaborate with those guys because they have different ideas from me as well. And some of their ideas are really good. And Darius was like, well, why don't we put our money into the snakes first,
Hmm.
get really nice snakes, the rarest stuff we could find, visual stuff. And he was like, later, when we have some money to reinvest, let's buy like the professional equipment. Other
Okay.
than the only piece of professional equipment I bought before the racks was the ultrasound machine. Um, but yeah, I had them kept in 40 quart hefty tubs for about 2 to 3 years. On actually, I still have one of the shelves up if I can get my tripod. You guys can
Oh
see it
yeah.
behind me.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
Yep.
what I kept them on for a long time
Mhm.
before I upgraded to the racks behind me. But yeah, we figured put our money into the snakes first, and we'll go from there. And it worked out well. My first clutch was in one of those tubs. The female laid the clutch right inside one of those hefty tubs, and
Wow.
also the number of snakes that we grew to kind of propelled me to get the rack. I was running out of room too, so
That
that was
happens
a big
fast.
factor as well.
Right. Right.
Happens real
Man,
fast after you have a couple of clutches.
Yeah, that's
lightning
for
fast.
sure.
So in
Did
that
did you hold
lavender.
anything back? Did you hold
What's
anything
that?
back from your first two clutches or your first
Yeah,
clutch?
so from my first clutch, I held back a female cinnamon pinstripe het pied. Um,
Okay.
I want to try to make like a black and white pied without doing super cinnamon. So I'm thinking of putting like blackhead in it and going
Mhm.
for super blackhead down the road. And the reason I wanted the pinstripe in it was because, as you guys probably know, cinnamon pieds are high white, and the
Right.
pinstripe I'm hoping will keep some of the pattern um, for that eventual black and white snake. And then from the second clutch, I kept back a lavender VPI axanthic. We hit 1 out of 5 eggs. It was my first ever double recessive combo that I made. And
Wow.
she's actually about 750 grams now. So she's getting close to being ready to breed.
Yep.
And then the third clutch, I didn't keep anything back. I sold it all. It was a leopard albino het clown bred to a clown. And I made a couple of leopard clowns, a couple clowns that were het for albino. My partner Dre actually bought two of them from me. He's got two of them down with him. He bought the female double het albino clown, and he's got a
Mhm.
visual clown male het albino to put to her from that clutch. So
Now,
technically, I guess we did hold it back.
the how do you guys work that when you guys like let's say you guys, I'm assuming you all have separate collections and then work projects together. So how do you work that if you want something from one of their productions?
So I actually shipped a couple of snakes to Darius over the past couple of years that were holdbacks I didn't really need, but he needed. So I usually just send them to him or, Dre, whoever needs it, I'll send it to them. I have the majority of the collection here just because I
Mhm.
have the most space out of everybody and
Right.
I guess the most experience out of everybody. So they kind of trust me with the majority of everything. But we're pretty open about everything. Nobody is greedy or selfish in the group, which is awesome. And
Hmm.
We talk on a regular basis about our goals, and they all want to produce different stuff from me too. Like AJ wants to produce like Axanthic G stripe stuff. I don't have any G stripe stuff, so like
Wow,
we all have different interests as well.
that's
I don't
always
have G
good.
stripe either.
Oh wow, I never knew that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely
no.
got some G stripe stuff going on.
I was never
Yeah, I
a
have
fan
no.
until I seen it into the clown. Then I was like, oh, that's cool, but I still never got it.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, I didn't
that was
become a
it.
big fan of it until I seen the Krypton stuff that Justin
yeah,
made with it. He made some like DG
Yeah,
Krypton stuff, and I like that the Krypton brought some pattern back to it. Kind of brings some
yeah,
side pattern back.
yeah, yeah. I like that
definitely.
better than the G stripe clown, the G stripe
Me
cryptic.
too.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
So, what's your favorite? Your top three snakes, and then let's say even be devil's advocate as well. Not only your top three snakes that you love to look at, see, no matter what level they're on, and then what's your most expensive snakes?
So you want my top three like in my collection or ones I don't
Yeah,
own?
in your
All right.
collection.
So the top three in my collection right now, it changes all the time. It's
Yep.
probably my girl Nova, who is gravid right now. She's a Confusion Starburst. So Confusion, Enchi, Leopard, Lavender, Albino. Um, she aged so well, man. Like the color on that snake is just insane.
Wow.
My second favorite is probably a snake I just picked up, my girl Pikachu. She's a super orange dream desert ghost pied. I just love how clean and bright she is. She's very
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah, shout out to DD's Exotics. I picked her up
Yep.
from him,
Oh, yep.
and
Sounds like his
she
collection.
yeah,
Hmm.
he's got some crazy stuff. And she's
Crazy.
definitely number two right now. She's been blowing my mind at how nice she looks, and
With age too, huh?
yeah, she's
Mhm.
she's really nice. She's still small, but she shed twice since I got her, and every time she sheds, it just gets better. It's crazy. And then my third favorite, that's a tough one. It's gonna be a tie between my Mojave Starburst, so it's Mojave, Enchi, Leopard, Lavender. I really love the Starburst stuff, and then my
Mhm.
Mhm.
Super Hurricane Lavender Albino male I just got from Hans.
Ooh, super hurricane.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, that
super
thing is
hurricane. I just
crazy.
have a hurricane lab, but the super is a different story.
It's
Wow.
insane, dude. The color on him is just insane. The pattern is insane, and
Mhm.
I'm excited to work the Hurricane into the Lavender.
Yeah.
Was it already stateside when you got it from Hans?
No, he was in Germany still, so
Okay.
he shipped them out to, I think it was somebody in Florida, I believe he
Hmm.
shipped it to,
Busy.
and then I got it from
Hmm.
Miami to me.
Yeah, I think it was
Yep.
Busy Balls probably.
Busy
He did a
balls.
lot of
Busy
Probably,
balls.
yeah.
stuff. Okay.
I got
Yeah,
a
that's
male that I bought him
hurricane.
as a hurricane, but he looks like he's super hurricane.
Yeah.
I saw your mail. I was looking at buying them, and then I seen somebody bought them, and I was like, dang, I missed it.
Yep, I surely jumped on that quick. And it's because of Will. Will's like, oh, look at his hurricane pie stuff. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Oh, what? I'm buying that right now.
Yeah,
Man, that's crazy. One of the, I guess I call it a kind of simple combo female. These last 2 years, she's really, by putting the right male to her, she's really hit some home runs for us. But we have a hurricane het pod female.
hell yeah.
And I literally, first year we bred her to our ultra male pod, Enchi ultra male pod male. And last year we bred her to our DG pod male. So,
Hell
we
yeah.
a bunch of hurricane pods, het, ultra male, het,
Yeah.
DG. So a lot of people not playing in that area. It's interesting. So I tend to kind of take everything like a science project, and I'll go through all the listing of the morphs and start researching not only for things that are available on morph market, but also hitting like the any tab so you can see everything, like stuff that's been sold, whatever, and just to try to see what all has been made. There's a lot of things that's not ID'd properly, so you can kind of reference certain things, and just really, really deep dive into the research side of things.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of it, trying to visually ID something, because things are just really, really becoming overwhelming with all the combos out there now. So you're just trying to really get an eye for what we're working with, especially being so fresh and new.
Absolutely.
When I first started, it was all about IDing. The best place to help me was the World of Ball Python. And I
I
don't
still
know
go
why
up
that
there,
just
and
fell
it's
off.
still like
I
It's
still be
hard.
on there too.
They're not keeping up with the times. You kind of
Yeah,
like,
they're not.
okay, right at the borderline. It's like, okay, we need some new stuff because there's new combos coming out now.
For
Somebody
real.
had
But
to make it.
it's a great thing to bring up though, because a lot of stuff, if you search something and it's really rare and you look on a morph market and you can't find it, a lot of times that's where I'll end up going. I'll probably find one or two there on World of Ball Pythons, or again the Facebook groups, which that's a hard topic there, because man, I swear people be ready to fight in some of them groups. But
I believe it.
yeah, I was thinking about going back to some of the forums they used to have, ball python forums, and doing some reading and research over there. I don't think
Are they
enough
still
of
up?
it.
Or did
Yeah,
they like get tore down? They're still
no,
up.
they're still up.
They're still there.
You can pull
Yeah,
a lot of them on Reddit.
I look on
Okay.
Morph Market Community a lot too. Morph
Mhm.
Market Community is pretty good as well. Like when I was starting to research the Scrambler gene before I invested into
Oh yeah,
it,
Marcus.
I went on the Morph Market Community, and Marcus Jane had like a whole freaking like
Right up
excerpt
on it.
on there about it with pictures and everything.
That
Ooh,
stuff
you
is
need
next
you need to
level.
see that
You know?
availability list. That's what everybody needs to see.
He sent it to me. It's looking
Ooh,
good.
oh
No,
yeah. Ooh.
the prices are
Ooh.
outrageous. I was like, wait, okay, how's this gonna
Hey,
work?
outrageously good. Hey,
Yeah,
check
no,
Oh yeah,
they're fire.
you'd be shocked
They're
with the
fire.
prices. I
Fire.
see it. I was like, oh, most of this stuff is gonna go. Just wait.
Hey, we
Oh, it's
got
gonna be gone.
23, 24 people watching. Anybody looking for that scrambler, you probably need to hit
Yes,
up
and
Marcus
they say
James.
scrambler
Hit him up.
on them. Scrambler.
I'll
him
tell you
up.
this, it's worth the import fee. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Well
is.
worth the import fee. So that's amazing. Are you working with Scrambler at all?
Yeah, I am. So I was about to answer your other question. My most expensive snake. It's probably I paid more for one of them, but the Scrambler one I got is probably higher value. I just got a good deal on it. So
Okay.
it'd be a tie between these two. So they're both from Canada, actually. Funny enough, my most expensive snake was a male I bought. He is my guy Future. He's a pastel, super enchy, super asphalt lavender albino. I got him from Billy, and yeah, I paid 6K for him. He was definitely the most expensive snake I bought. And then the Scrambler combo I got was a Orange Dream Super Scrambler Dreamsicle. I paid 5K for her,
Wow.
but here she's probably worth a lot more.
Yeah.
He probably
Where'd you
could have
get
got
her
a lot
from?
more. I got her from my buddy Kalan at Isotope Exotics. He's up in Canada as well. He's making some of the craziest scrambler stuff. Like he's made Holy Grail scrambler combinations, like crazy stuff. You guys got to check
I've
him out.
never even heard of him.
You got to check him out, bro. He
Yeah.
just did an episode recently on Trap Talk. He's not too social, but he's on Instagram. If you go check out his Instagram page, he's got some crazy scrambler combos.
You got a
I'll check it.
super scrambler dreamsicle. That's wild. I didn't even
Yes,
know they
sir.
were that far
I did, yeah.
ahead with it already. That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
he's super far ahead in it, and the reason is because he was breeding it unknowing that he had it, and the original dreamsicles that he bought, one was the male I believe was a Java Scrambler dream skull, and then the female turned out to be a Super Scrambler dreamsicle. So he was making all these crazy low white dreamsicles and wasn't sure what was going on with them. And eventually down the road, I guess Marcus Jane looked at all his stuff and was like, yeah, this is what's going on, after he figured out what was going on with his stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good way to get a gene. I'll tell you right
Exactly.
now. Got it for free.
Exactly. He sent me pictures of like all the original stock that it came from, and you can just tell there's something weird with the original Dream Skulls that he got. They're both like super white. So the Super Scrambler Dream Skulls are no white. So the one I have is a no white pied, like it's just covered in pattern and color. For some reason, Scrambler makes pieds low white,
White.
Love
Yeah,
it.
it wipes out that.
Yeah.
which is cool. I love that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
You're gonna
That
have to
was
send me some of
cool.
those pictures. I'm gonna have to see this now.
I got
Is that
you.
some
I got
lavender?
you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got a
up,
couple
Sammy?
pictures of her on my Instagram. You guys could check out too.
Okay.
Of the Orange Dream. Her name's Beyonce. I name a lot of them after like singers and rappers.
Yeah, so we can
But
tell.
she's the
Future.
baddest female in my rack, so I had to name her Beyonce.
Is he treating the women like Future?
He is.
Oh man.
He is. He's a toxic boy.
Oh gosh.
He's doing good though. He's probably going to sire about 3 clutches this year. I put him to 4 females. One of the females reabsorbed, and then the other 3 that I really wanted to go look like they're going to be going. So he did a good job this year.
How many clutchers are you going for this year?
So we paired up 14 snakes, or 14 females, I should say. And it looks like as of right now, I've got probably 6 that are looking like they're going to go definitely. I've already had 3 reabsorb, unfortunately. So I shelved them. And then Darius is still in the process of breeding a couple down where he's at as well. He's probably got 2 or 3 more pairings on top of that. So somewhere between like 6 to 9 clutches, I'd say, this year.
Gotcha. Someone
How
asking
many clutches?
go ahead.
Go ahead, Will. Well, I was just gonna ask,
was asking
how many projects are you
Beyonce.
guys working together with? Like together?
Mostly the lavender albino, but we are also working Desert Ghost together, and also some of the clown stuff together as well too.
Okay.
And
So
of course, like,
with what they're doing.
hell yeah. And of course, like the Dream School stuff, like Lavender Pied. So I guess Pied as well.
Darius in the building. So
My
Beyonce,
guy.
are you able to show her off?
Yeah, I could take her out real quick.
Sure.
Sammy wants to see.
Yeah. What's going on, Darius? Happy you can chime in.
She's actually starting to go into shed a little bit. Can y'all see her?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going in the shed, so she's not as bright as she normally is. But this is the Super Scrambler, Orange Dream, Dreamsicle, and like I said, guys, she is no white. Like you can literally only see by the tail like a little ringer.
Right.
But what the Scrambler does, especially the super form, is it basically like smears all the side pattern down the sides of the snake's body. Let me see if you guys can kind of see it better from this side.
It almost gives it that genetic stripe pattern.
Yeah, and it's really striped out. Like she's got a full stripe down her back too.
Right.
And I mean, once she comes out of the shed too, the color is just unreal. It's super bright. Scrambler lightens the color as well. So like if you put a regular Scrambler up against like a normal, the Scrambler is going to be about like 30% lighter than a normal. So it brightens color as well. But when I first got her, the color was unreal. Like I've seen Marcus Jane compare them up against like Desert Ghost, like just super Orange Dream Scrambler combos, and they look brighter than Desert Ghost. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, she is fire.
Jeez. That is wild.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I love the Scrambler. It's awesome. And this is in shed. And she still looks awesome.
Good.
But yeah, she's probably the only one in the country right now. I'm not sure if Kaylon has sold any other ones. This is the only one I've seen him make available. So she's probably the only one in the country right now.
Wow.
But yeah, she's badass.
Yeah, and got her as a steal.
Hell yeah. He's a good dude too, Kaylon. I'm probably gonna get a mail from him down the road. I'm trying to get that Holy Grail mail from him, a Scrambler Holy Grail, because I want to work the Holy Grail project for sure with the Scrambler, because I typically don't like Clown Pied. I don't know how you guys feel about Clown Pied. I feel that they kind of take away from each other, but the Scrambler in Clown Pied is unreal. You guys got to check out a Scrambler Clown Pied. It makes it so nice.
Bob the Exotics made one. I think he has one.
Yes, he has one. It's freaking dope. Yep. And then I believe Balls and Strikes just made one too, unknowingly. Unknowingly. He also he posted it the other day and said he tested it for OD and YB and it tested negative for both. So the only thing that's making it look like that, in my opinion, is Scrambler.
Scrambler. Yeah. I'm a fan of the clown pie. So, but the clown pie labs, when you see them as a baby, they look good. But when they get older, it all blurs together. The only way you can really tell is the middle of the head stamp. That's it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you won't be able to tell.
Yep.
But they look beautiful as babies, believe me.
They do.
For us as breeders, it's still a good project, I feel.
They do for sure. I want to also work the lavender clown pretty hard too. I feel like there really hasn't been any genes that have been put in it that
Yeah.
change it too much. But I'm thinking that if I put Hurricane in there, we might have something going for us. I want to try to work Hurricane into that Grail project along with like Enchi and Leopard and see if the Hurricane can kind of cancel out like that pattern reduction that you get.
Makes
I
sense.
still like OD and lavender. OD and lavender
Oh
still
yeah.
looks good.
Oh yeah. OD is one
So
of
we
the
just
best
gotta
genes to put in it.
add Mandarin in there. That's gonna look
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
Add any of those other genes in there. It's that brings that orange in. So doing cinnamon, inchy, black pastel, inchy, bring that orange, and then add that calico in there. I think that thing would look so great. It's just in my own mind. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah.
He said, I'm just
What
I
saying.
like it.
what I think it looks like. I'm not saying I know it's gonna look like that, but when you see OD and everything else in it, it looks good. So
Yeah, I don't
Hell yeah.
have. I think we only have lab in our LC stuff from Bomb, from KG and them.
Super Java. So
Super
you have
Java.
Super
Java in your collection
Java.
too?
What's that?
You have Java in your collection too?
So that girl is possible Java. Both of her parents are Java, so there's a good chance she could be Java. He just wasn't sure enough to
Sure.
ID it.
Oh, she could be also Super Java too.
Possibly, yeah, we don't know. There's no
What does
test,
Java do?
unfortunately. So Java is a darkening gene. It's
Okay.
it's kind of similar to like blackhead in a way.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
darkening gene.
Okay.
I believe Marcus Jane founded that gene as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, he did.
And
I've seen it on his page a few times.
yeah, so she's possible Java and possible yellow belly. He just can't tell. I sent
Right.
out the test for yellow belly. I'm just waiting for the results because
Yeah.
I don't want to buy a male that has yellow belly in it and accidentally make ivory dreamsicles, you know?
Yeah.
How long
Why
you been
not?
waiting
Justin
for
does
your
it all the
results
time.
on?
I sent them out probably like a month ago or so. But I'm sponsored by them, so they just are taking their time to send me the
Gotcha.
results. I'm not in any rush.
Gotcha.
Wait, who's
Look.
sponsored by who?
By Rare Genetics,
Oh,
Inc.
okay. Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to those guys. Yeah.
Yep. Man, do you end up testing a lot? You have a lot of sheds that you send in for tests?
So this year I'm gonna definitely have to shed test a lot because that male future. So Billy told me he's possibly het for something else that I'm not gonna mention yet because I don't want to ruin the surprise if he is.
Right.
Or jinx it. But Billy unknowingly sold him to me without knowing that his father was het for this recessive gene until he bred them, the father, to that recessive gene, and that recessive gene popped out. So right now he's 50% het for a recessive gene, and the test is not out for it yet. So there's a little hint for you
Well,
guys.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a rebuttal on that pop out, right? So when he bred that to the mom, right? She's a visual. You sure it wasn't a part though?
No, so his sister also proved out for this gene as well.
Okay.
The
Okay.
sister to my snake also proved out to be het for this recessive gene.
Uh-oh.
It starts with an M.
Oh, I know. I'm following. I'm following closely.
So yeah, if he proves out to have that, that's gonna be a big game changer. Like I'm gonna have to reassess the whole operation.
Oh wow, David just said that high OD is not testing positive for OD. I never knew that.
Interesting.
Oh, really? I didn't either.
Mhm.
So if it's not testing for OD and I produce it, I'm like calling it OD. But that makes sense because you get when you do high OD, when you breed an OD and all of a sudden you get high ODs from it, and then you get vice versa from either side. I guess you never see them really together, right?
Well, I've heard Ozzy say that. So
You
Ozzy
can
believes
do
they're two
both.
different genes, and
Right.
Ozzy has said in the past that he's had super orange dreams that are one copy of OD and one copy of high intensity OD. So
Right.
they make
Yeah,
both.
both.
So yeah, I'm not sure, but they look cool. I love the high intensity stuff. That's
Yeah.
all I
Me
know.
too.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm with you on that one.
They
You'll
look
get
good,
those
so
in
I don't care
clutches.
what's going on with it.
You'll get that in
um,
clutches.
as far as the next step for your collection, what are you interested into adding, or even taking out of what you already have in your collection?
Yeah, so we got rid of all the spider stuff that we started with. So definitely we purged spider out of there. Unfortunately, because I like spider too. I don't know how you guys feel about spider, but
Yeah.
I think
No, I
it
like
looks
spider.
cool.
I do.
Like
Yeah.
And
I
some
like it
combos
and
are great.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it and stuff.
we liked it a lot. It's literally was just strictly a business decision to kind of
Exactly.
purge it out of the collection as well. Mhm.
Same with us. We're looking to get into potentially some new recessives this year with some of our reinvestment money. I know Darius is really liking the zebra stuff, so
Mhm.
possibly adding zebra in. I also have been liking a lot of the paint stuff I've seen.
Oh
Paint
yeah,
looks really cool.
That's right.
new paint clutches coming
Yeah, the
in.
paint looks really cool. And I also want to add puzzling. I don't have any puzzling.
Ooh, wow,
Really?
Yeah, I don't have any puzzling.
Oh,
we have a
yeah, I love
bunch of them.
puzzle. I
Yeah,
love puzzle. I just don't
I
have
think
paint
puzzle have
or
long
zebra.
legs. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just added another paint male, breeder male. Our main male was a banana sentinel male. He's a true stud. And then he produced, I want to say 3 clutches for us, and we have a few paint and het paint combo females. So we want to, I don't know, to move that project along. Yeah, you can produce banana paint, 1 or 2 females to hold back. But once you put too much gender synced genes, you really end up kind of snowballing into a mess
Mhm.
the further you go in. So we
Yep.
we still have him, but we also have now a paint male that's just straight paint that can also work that side of things
Heck
as
yeah.
well. So we're just trying to be strategic about it on how to move forward with that project and still be progressive, you know.
Absolutely.
But
And
yeah,
And
it's
paint.
nice with banana. You just want to keep females. If you get anything banana, just keep the females, and then you won't really have that issue within your own collection. But if you do sell a male, he's going to be a female maker. So
Right.
right.
there you go.
And
Yeah.
it's always twisted up too because the banana paint male, I'm assuming he's a male maker, but he did make us a banana female as well. So I'm like, yes, that's
That's
cool.
what's up.
But most of them
I'll
were,
hold her back.
yeah.
Keep her to the side, and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah. All
absolutely.
And they say most males will produce a female.
Mhm.
Over time. It's just you'll be mostly producing
Right,
males.
I've
right.
heard that as well. All the
Mhm.
banana stuff that we have in our collection is females. That was something that I learned early
Yeah.
on was get the bananas as females, and it's worth
Yep,
paying that extra money. I think
yep.
it's
It
worth
is.
paying the taxation for the female,
Yep.
Yeah. No,
in my
females kept
opinion.
their value. They kept
I
their value
agree.
for a long time.
So puzzle and paint, good. I think those are
Yeah,
some good choices to put
puzzle
in
paint and zebra.
puzzle paint
Zebra.
and Z.
What incomplete dominance do you think you want to add?
Ooh, like that I don't have already.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, So my favorite 2 incomplete dominant genes, or I should say my top 3, are Scrambler, Confusion, and Hurricane. Those are my top 3 favorites. And I
Okay.
like a lot of the Stranger stuff that I've seen coming out. I've been seeing more of that Malice stuff that like
Yeah.
Levance and all them boys are working with.
And
That stuff looks
Ash.
cool.
Yep.
Yes,
Uh,
it does.
of course, I like the Cosmos stuff I've seen. That stuff
Yep.
is insane. But the
Mhm.
price tag is out of my price range, so
Just
I'm
like
Yeah,
gonna
I
you
have
see
said,
to
it
wait.
posted. I
I'm
said,
gonna have to wait on
whoa.
that one.
I said
Um,
40 grand. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on that one. If she is not Java, I do want to add Java in. I like what Java does, especially the super form of Java. It's really nice in Pied and in I've seen it the super Java form in Clown as well, and it's very pretty. So yeah, I'd say those are probably some of the ones I don't have. Oh, and Stranger. I don't know if I mentioned Stranger. I don't have
yeah.
Stranger. I would like to
You
get
really
Stranger
don't?
though. No, I don't have any Stranger.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
think you would have picked up a Stranger Live by now.
I came close. Somebody beat me out to it again, like you did with the Hurricane. Shout out to
Hey.
Mantooth Captive Bred Reptiles. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Jason Amos or Jason Amos.
Oh yeah, Amos. Yeah.
Amos. He
Jason
had
Amos, yes.
at one point he had a leopard stranger lavender available, and I wanted it so bad. At the time, I just couldn't afford it, and somebody
Yeah.
snatched it up.
Smashed it up right before
Yeah.
you did. Oh
Man,
man.
there is he's the one that when he was in California, he was running Stranger. He was
Yeah,
running Stranger. Yeah.
he's got some
Real
cool
big time.
stuff, and I seen him recently. He made some stranger lavender snows recently that I saw you had
Yep.
available that were
Yep.
cool. That's a project I'm interested to kind of figure out what codominants are going to help it.
I think blackhead probably.
Blackhead. I want to make a super asphalt version of the lavender axanthic as well. That's one of my goals for sure.
Just the super asphalt lavender. Let me see that. I gotta see that now.
I
I gotta
got
see that. Like I
it
have to.
it's not as nice now as an adult. He's kind of just orange now, but as a baby,
Yes.
if you guys go on my page when you get a chance and look at some baby pictures, it's crazy. But I'll pull him out real quick.
But he's still something good to have, because he is a super. You'll never be guessing.
Yeah, so he's super enchy too. He's
He has
super
that
enchy
glow.
and super asphalt. Well, you guys can see the asphalt pattern on him. But like I said, he's pretty much just orange now.
right.
The orange and a little bit of the yellows coming up the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when he was younger, all this orange was like pink from the enchy, which was really beautiful. But as he's aged, he's kind of, faded in coloration.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is that boy Future.
Too.
I hope that he has as many kids as the real Future. Hope he catches up to him.
How many babies does he have? Like what?
He's got, I think the rapper, I think he's got like 11 kids, something crazy like that.
Oh yeah, he can make that in a season.
I think he's gonna surpass him this year. So yeah, that's him. That's the super asshole. But he definitely was more impressive as a baby. He's not as nice as an adult.
Gotcha.
So the goal moving forward is to figure out how we can make it not so saturated.
Right.
And try to keep some nice contrast. I'm hoping the confusion or the leopard down the road will, make some cool stuff with it.
Up. Yeah,
he's also got pastel in him too, so the pastel is probably lightening him up a little bit as well.
Definitely. Yep.
But yeah, he's a dope male. He's really cool. Yeah,
he said, "Hit me up, I got you."
They put him back. Yeah,
I would.
He's a good dude.
He's active.
He is active.
Jeez, I think I've seen him.
And I actually want to ask you guys a question too about that, because I noticed I don't know if you guys notice this with your males too, but during the breeding season, do you guys notice your males like going crazy in the tubs when they're not with females, like just super active at nighttime?
They do tub rubbing. So their heads will be out where they can see, and they go like this at the bottom.
Yes.
I'll walk in there and I can see them look like Knight Rider.
Yeah. The first time I saw him doing it, I was like, "What is wrong with you, dude? Like, what are you doing?"
I'm like a dog in heat. What?
And I'm like, "Oh, he wants to go see the females. That's what he wants."
Exactly. Now you mentioned a spider. Is there anything else in your collection where you have maybe one or two of in incomplete dominant, and you was like, you know what, you want to kind of phase that out slowly as well?
Yeah, pinstripe would be another one of those. So only thing I want pinstripe in really is pied, just because it adds the pattern back. Right. And I don't mind pinstripe and desert ghost just because desert ghost makes it so nice to begin with. So I don't mind pinstripe and desert ghost. But if I had to pick another one that I could do without, it'd probably be pinstripe. I like pastel. I just don't like it in clown. Personally, that's really the only project I don't like it in, but everything else I like pastel in pretty much. I think that's about it. I mean, any gene that, just doesn't make viable offspring or healthy offspring, I don't want to work with it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Oh, so wait. Well, no, spot nose makes healthy offsprings,
Yeah.
but you make a super, you're
Yeah, you
But
can
not
have
yeah,
issues.
all the time. You can have that neurological, but
You could have issues. Yeah, I love spot nose. I do love spot nose too.
Mhm.
Yeah, those would probably be just the two, spider and pinstripe. Um,
champagne. You don't like champagne?
I don't have any champagne. I don't like champagne too much. It's too overpowering for me.
Right. I think we have one. We have one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
you add
never got into
blackhead and
champagne.
leopard into it, it gives it pattern.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
blackhead and leopard gives it pattern.
I've seen I think does Enchi do that as well with it? I think I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
some
Yeah,
Enchi ones
and she
that
does.
have pattern as
She
well.
does too.
Inchi
So
is definitely a pattern coming into a pie. It adds a lot of pattern. A lot of pattern.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, I never got into champagne. I never really liked it to begin with. I just I don't know, it never really caught my attention.
yeah,
So your show list, the shows that you attend, how many have you attended and how many you planning on attending for the rest of this year?
Yeah, so we've never vended a show. Maybe that's something that I'll try this year, depending on how many babies we make available.
Right.
I might do like one of the local shows here in Rhode Island. It's a Show Me Reptiles show. I go to that one usually every time it comes to town.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna go to Daytona this year. I missed it last year because my cousin decided to get married that weekend, and I was upset. Because that's like tradition. I love going down there.
Daytona.
Um,
Yes.
I love going to Daytona. But I don't think I'm gonna go Daytona this year. I think I'm gonna try to go to Tinley in October. I've never been to Tinley, so that's me and Darius and the boys want to try to go there.
Mm-hmm.
you're not
And
gonna
that's
do Bob's
probably
show.
what's that?
You're not gonna do Bob's show.
Babu's? No, I
Yeah.
don't think I'll be able to make it. It's coming up this weekend, right?
Weekend. Yep.
Next weekend.
Yeah, I
Yep.
won't be able to make it out there this weekend. But I do want to go to that one at some point, the Southeast Reptile Expo. It looks
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Yeah.
Are you vending at it, Will?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be
Hell yeah.
vending flawless crested geckos. We got a lot of actual snake pickups, but we'll be vending on the gecko side of things.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be really, really, really fun.
I love
Tap
the
in.
shows. I love going to the
Yeah.
shows and meeting people. Like we got to meet you at Daytona a couple
Yep.
years back. That was
Yep.
dope. I met a lot of really cool people at the Daytona show. I enjoy the shows.
Oh, I enjoy
When
them
you
too. You get to really put the brand, the face, the everything in perspective, meeting them in person. Because some people you just don't mesh well with, and some people you may assume you don't mesh well with, and then you meet them, you're like, man, I was completely
You're like,
wrong.
oh,
Yeah.
So I definitely love the show scene.
have you noticed people just like know who you are just because of YouTube and everything?
Oh
That are
yeah,
really
I
into
had
the
a couple
reptiles.
people come up and take pictures with me. Will was like
Yeah.
doing the nope reel. He was like nope.
Nope. Yep. Hey, but isn't it? It feels weird though, right? Because we're like, hey, you're regular people, man. You want to take
Yeah,
that.
it
But
is weird.
just after a while, you're just like, all right, yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Darius
Yeah.
always be like, "Oh, Mike, you're famous." I'm like, "Bro, I'm not famous. Shut up." Shout out to Darius though. He's my hype man.
He doesn't know it yet.
There he is.
Nobody's
There he
like,
is.
"Oh,
Hey,
still
that's
show
what
up to the
I'm talking
mall. Nobody's hunting me down.
about. Word. Word.
It's only in
man.
reptile world."
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, seriously, it is. Audra and I, we were vending, I think it was Tenley actually. And we had this guy came up and I mean, he was crying. I mean, seriously, like tears. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
we were packing up, we stopped, we talked to him for a good while, took pictures with him, did a little video with him, a little part of the vlog, and it was really, really nice. It was really,
That's
but
awesome.
I was like, wait, what's going on here? I'm like, what's happening? But and later on, they're like, man, this is growing. You're
Yeah.
expanding a little bit, and you got to kind of take a second to absorb it all in, take it all in, because to anyone, I would think it would feel weird, not in a bad way, but just in almost an uncomfortable way, I guess. You're
Yeah,
like,
I
"This
could
is
see that.
so low."
Yep.
So it's really cool. And that's what's so important to us about trying to get out to different regions. So we've been out to Vegas. We want to get down to Texas. We want to get out to California, get to these different areas and make that connection with our customers, make the connection with our people. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think networking is super important, especially in the industry we're in.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when you put out good content and you be yourself, and you give good information, and people rock with you, they'll fight battles for you. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I get hateful comments all the times on my
Oh
reels,
my
and like people that are supporters will attack them. I don't even got
yeah.
to say anything
Say
to
nothing.
Yeah.
You just sit back and watch.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just watch.
Things us as people, we get so divided on things. It's like there could be law as far as keeping wellness and harming your animals. I get that, but then
Yeah.
there's also going to be preference. Please,
Exactly.
people need to understand your preference. If you have a preference, keep your preference.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
you can be influenced one way or another through getting further educated, and that's cool
Yep.
too. But a preference is just that, a preference.
Exactly.
I
And
think people tend to
it's
do it a
never
little more.
it's never like another breeder or someone that's
Right,
attacking me. It's always somebody
right,
that like doesn't even have snakes.
right,
They don't
Yeah.
know anything about it, you know?
right.
Oh, I've had that. I've had that just the
Mhm.
other day, and I sent that to
Yeah.
Will with the guy talking
Mhm.
about being a breeder and all this stuff, and you're overpopulating, and
Right.
it
Yep.
was the same thing when I was breeding dogs. It was the same
Yeah.
type
Uh-huh.
of people. You're
Yep.
overpopulating. You shouldn't be selling animals for money. Yeah,
They're
that kind of
everywhere.
stuff.
Yep.
They're in
Yeah.
every industry.
Man, man. What's going on, Dustin? He was able to make it. Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, shout out to
Sammy.
Dustin.
Mr. Pink Shirt, man. Sammy is one of the nicest guys you ever meet, man. I don't
Oh,
know if
I
you have
love
you met him in
Sammy.
person? I was about
Oh
to say
yeah. He's
Sammy is
actually
man.
He's actually supposed to come by here next week to pick up a snake that he won from me in a raffle. So
Yeah,
I'm
he
actually
told me
going to be
about
seeing
that.
him next week. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
he told me about that.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He hits me up every morning saying good morning. He's just a nice guy. Awesome dude.
he
He really,
he
really is.
has his list because on every platform he hits me up saying the same thing
Uh-huh.
Yep.
on
He's
I
every
got
love
his
it.
platform.
list.
I love it. Now you
Yeah,
say
he's a
he's
good
going to
guy.
by for raffle winning. Won't you shout out a little bit of what actually took place? How he ended up becoming a winner, so other people
Oh
can
yeah,
follow.
so we did a little Halloween raffle for some snakes. It was a $20 buy-in. You could buy up to 5 spots, and Sammy I think he bought two spots, and he ended up winning the snake. We were gonna pick 5 winners, so we gave
Right.
away 5 snakes. That was the
Oh,
only time we
that's
did a
cool.
raffle so far.
Okay.
It was cool. We had a good turnout, and we made a little bit of money. We got off some
Yeah,
of the more pet quality stuff. Sammy actually got a really nice snake. She's a yellow belly double het hypopide, so
Okay.
she's super useful for him and his pied
yeah,
and hypo project.
yeah. He's in the pies hard.
Yeah.
He's in the
Yeah, he
Yeah.
pies.
loves them pieds. I don't
Oh
blame
yeah.
him. I love them too.
Oh, yeah. He tells me all the time, "Hey, that pod you made." I'm like, "Yeah." I'll send him pictures of it. Yeah, he loves pie.
He loves pied.
Yeah.
I love it too. I
Oh
love
yeah.
pied too.
It's interesting because I was telling actually Darren probably over a year ago at this point, but that was one of the projects I was the least interested in, and it
Oh yeah,
is
yeah,
our biggest project
yeah,
by
yeah.
far.
He was.
Wow.
It is
He
our
did not
biggest.
like it.
Yeah, it's just like, but well, the thing was this is coming from a new breeder, new keeper. The hard thing with pie, and still to this day, is going to be IDing to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Um,
yep.
and
That's
I
everybody.
figured out, well, I'm still working on it, but strategically we plan everything, around trying to add more pattern. You talked about it earlier,
Yeah.
to pie. That's just again a preference for us. Because some people would say, what's the point of having a 99% covered pie? Well, for me, it's still genetically a pie. So that's a major win for me.
Absolutely.
I find that the more pattern it has, the more absolute you that we find that we can be with our IDing. So it helps us
Definitely.
as new breeders. I enjoy that. Some of
That
that stuff I see out there with the one spot, one saddle on the back.
oh
And
no.
again, I'm not crap talking, but I'll see because I mean they've been doing it for decades at this point. But they have one saddle on the back, And Justin, he'll be like, yeah, that's the fire. Da 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 da. It's like a
Yep.
10 gene pod. And I'm like, what you see? And I'm just
How do
like,
you know? Yeah.
how do you know it? You know, but I don't
I see an
have
orange
that.
dot. It's all orange.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I'm like, I don't have that eye yet, you know, and I want to work
Well,
get to that.
that's
point.
why I really truly believe that Scrambler is going to be the future for Pied, because it
Right.
does exactly that. It brings all the pattern back to it. And unlike Enchi, you don't get those eye stripes, and it distorts the pattern, but in a cooler way than Enchi, in my opinion. And it'll just make it.
Oh,
Oh,
I think
lost
it's
him.
the
What happened?
phone. Yeah, I think it's
Somebody's
phone.
calling him.
It's all good. Hey,
Can you
Dustin.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
a call.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Scrambler's the future for Pied for sure, and that's why I really wanted to get that Dream Skull, is because I almost bought. He had another snake available. It was a Scrambler Grail het Pied.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, I like it more in the Pied. Let me get the visual Pied, and I don't regret it after seeing all like the hypo Pied stuff that's come out with it. I've seen even just regular Pied combos from Isotope with the Scrambler without double recessives, and they just look unreal.
I think it's gonna be interesting. I want to see more of that Scrambler, because we've been adding Calico a lot to Pied now, and I want to see that Scrambler. And we also have a gene called Window. I think they kind of resemble each other, so I'm gonna figure it out. I think Ball Python South, they have it as well, and they've been running with it for a few years. But I don't think they have Scrambler. So
we want to see what
Window. So we want to kind of get similar combos and see if I can, reference,
Hell yeah,
that'd be interesting.
I want to see what Scrambler does in Puzzle.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see it as well. In my opinion, in Clown, it doesn't really do too much, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far. And it's honestly, outside of Pied, it can be really subtle. Like its influence can be very subtle. But yeah, Puzzle Scrambler will be crazy.
It's one thing. Me and Darren talked about it briefly, and this may not go over well, but generally speaking, I want to say probably more than 80%, probably closer to 90% of the time, when it comes to incomplete dominant genes, typically they're hit or miss, and vice versa with Pied and Clown. If it's something that works really, really well in Clown, it's not that great in Pied. And if it's something that works really, really great in Pied, vice versa. Especially like Enchi. Me personally, I do not like Enchi Clowns. Can't stand them.
I hear you. I agree.
But love Enchi Pied. So it's very interesting to see it. On the other side of it, Black Pastel Clowns. I like them. Now, I like having the gene in Pied, but then it still whites the snake out. So it's like it's interesting to see how two of the bigger, I guess, recessives in the market or in the industry, how they kind of play off of each other. Whatever level in that area, it kind of gravitates or thrives in another. So it's kind of cool to work those projects and see how far they are.
And that goes back to what you said in the beginning too about doing the research. It's so important to know how they influence each other, like you were saying in the beginning, especially like Cinnamon and Black Pastel, especially like the super forms that make a white snake. Like you got to know those things before you start putting stuff together, for sure. So that's super important.
Yeah, I give a lot of props to those people who can work all of that stuff together. I am like at this stage definitely afraid of going, for my combos, yellow belly to yellow belly, working with the eye, fire to fire. Like I'm trying to stay clear of that right now. Weigh the odds, and trying to fix some of those issues on the planning side of it. Dustin asked, but I think you answered it earlier. Do you like low white or high white pods?
Sheesh. I personally like, I tend to like the lower white ones more, but I like a good like 50-50 Pied, like a good even balance of it, in my opinion. But most of my Pied stuff is low white, so I guess I'm more of a low white fan.
Gotcha. Do you have
see what's in it? That's what comes out to.
No, I don't have Pixel or Voodoo, but I've seen the Super Voodoos that Bob made, and those things
Oh
are,
yeah,
are freaking sick.
insane. Yeah, he got a lot of that stuff under wraps. We both been over to his facility a few times, and he has a lot of voodoo.
Yeah,
A
that
lot of voodoo.
the only time I saw it in person was I think Balls and Strikes bought a Voodoo from him, and
Mhm.
he had it on display at Daytona, and I checked it out, and I liked its influence. It's definitely an interesting gene. Same with
Yes.
the Pixel, the Super Pixel stuff that Justin made was really cool
Mhm.
too.
Hmm. That gene's probably going to take off for him more than I would think Peach. But I think
Yeah, well,
I think
that's
Pixel's going
gonna
to
kind
be
of
the one for
be a dead issue for me because I can't see it, but I'm colorblind, so
him.
I'm like, I was just
Yeah.
trying to look at it in different pictures, and I'm like, I couldn't bring myself to work that yet, you know.
Peach is more of a gene when you go to his facility, the babies, you can see it really well, right? You can see it really good. But as they get older, you kind of don't see it as well.
It
Mhm.
wears off, yeah.
Yeah.
I one of the newer genes, I guess it's not really a new gene. I don't know how long it's been around, but another incomplete dominant gene that I've been seeing a lot more stuff with that I like is the Jaguar.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been
Yep.
really interested in the Jaguar gene as well. So maybe I might add that down the road too.
I
Yeah.
agree with Beast Morphs on that one. The issue, and we're trying to work. We have our gene that we're kind of trying to figure out. We've been spending 2 years on it so far. We're not selling any of it. We're trying to, break it down and work it into different things, and as well as single it out. But that's a very important point there, and I think it's a positive kind of, it's coming from a positive place. How do you figure out if what the single gene is really looking like when there's hardly any single gene scrambler available? And if it is, sometimes, and again, not knowing who has it available, but you have to check your source and see, if
Yeah,
it's ABC reptiles, where they get it from and how they pop up in their collection. So then when you start seeing it in some of these combos, whether clown and pod, and all of a sudden people are putting it in there to make a quick sale, it
yeah,
may not even be there. So I think that's going to be kind of devastating to every new gene until us as buyers do our research,
for
do
sure.
our due
My
diligence on
biggest
that.
research on that is buy it close to who produced it or adjacent
Mhm.
to who produced it. Once you get
Exactly.
kind of there, then okay, I'm gonna trust what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because they've really worked the gene. They know what the gene looks like. They're
And
Yeah.
able
and
to
it,
really actually idea it.
it's funny you said that because with all the social media, I urge everybody who watches every week to, hey man, drop your social media. Put your links out there, put your Instagram in the comments. See if you can get people to follow you. We'll like to follow you. The thing is, you need to figure out a way to stimulate growth so people can see what you're working with. Much like Mike said, get stuff out there, post stuff before you have stuff available to sell, before you have to push stuff out of the door. I think that's important too, because now with some of these genes, we just seen it. We was in Bomb Project's Discord. Somebody was looking to make a purchase of animal on Morph Market, and the buyer or the seller, they listed it as a pos het something, and they was like, oh yeah, well, I didn't produce this, but the breeder that produced it, they bred het to het, and that's how this ended up being a pos het. And it was a female that's like 1,000 grams. The gist of the story is basically the potential buyer messaged that person, didn't call them out or anything, and said, hey, who'd you acquire this from so I can do my research? And the seller turned to them and pretty much was like, well, it was a private sale. I don't want to put the name out there. That's kind of hard, to really, to kind of close that
Yeah.
sale. I get it, I guess, from both perspectives, but if you're legitimately trying to sell something that you purchased, I mean, you probably should show the legwork, so that it
Absolutely.
don't fall on you. So again, social media showing a track record, maybe you picked this up 2 years ago and you're deciding to go a different direction now. When someone messages you like, look, was 2 years ago. I didn't even think I was going to sell it now. So you kind of show a track record and it helps you try to find your customer when you're making that sale.
Absolutely. And in regards to the scrambler, I think research is definitely important. I
Mhm.
I researched Scrambler for a year before I actually invested into it. And the first time I saw it was at Daytona when Chris had El Diablo on display. And after I saw that, I started looking at scrambler stuff. And I've seen both a single form of it from Marcus Jane and Isotope. And like I said, the single form of it is not that impressive. It's just about 30% lighter than a normal ball python. Like if you put it up against a normal, you could pick the scrambler out. It's definitely lighter in color. But you really don't get a good influence from it until you start putting it with other stuff. And before I put the deposit on Beyonce, Isotope basically sent me the whole timeline of his scrambler project, and it all came from Marcus Jane. So I think if you're gonna get it, you got to get it from somebody that it originated from, in my opinion.
Right.
If you have question marks about it.
That's what Beast Morse was saying. Go to the source.
Exactly.
Cold Fusion, what's going on? I didn't know you guys are still hanging around. I'll give you something to think about. We were actually working on a video about that topic as well. It isn't that bad when you're pairing yellow belly to yellow belly, or your bell complex. It's not that bad, but what's something that you want to think about is for example, a situation we were kind of in before we got our Wookiee clown male. If you're sitting there with red stripe, yellow belly, Mojave, spot nose, clown male, powerhouse male, and you're going to breed him to a hurricane yellow belly, I believe it was, let's say a hurricane yellow belly clown female. For us, we're like, we don't want to do that. Yes, there's tests pretty much for all of it, but what you end up running into, let's say you hit two, white snakes, and that's fine, and you're going to test them. You already know they're the super yellow belly, but at the same time, now on just those two snakes, you're going to basically test them for red stripe. You're going to test them for hurricane. You're going to test them for all the testable incomplete dominant genes in all the white snakes you produced. And for the most part, I mean, you'll get definitive answers on it. And whether positive or negative, I mean, you're now sitting with the results as well as a bill for every single one of them tests, depending on where you got it tested from. So on the planning side of things, if you're in that situation, you're in it. But on the planning, if you can plan better strategically, it'll probably be a better route to go, is my opinion.
What I'd say about the white snakes is if you guys like white snakes, do lavender azanthic. That's the only white snake I like because it keeps pattern. And I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I just don't want to make a white clown and not know it's a clown without testing it. You know what I mean? And the ivories are a little bit different because you can have pattern on the ivories. But like leopard. It's just you like leopard, Enchi brings pattern to it. But a lot of those genes in clown reduce the pattern. So it's not something that I really think that I would prefer to do. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yep. Hey, this is what we're doing this for, so we can definitely get the comments and questions and everything and talk about it, have educated conversations about it. Mandarin and lace are still very misunderstood. People need to do their work. We only have one in our Mandarin female. We don't even have her I think we're putting her into a hypo project, but that's very, very touchy because from what I've been seeing on the market, some people I think they have two different Mandarins, if I'm correct. They have a Mandarin, then an NR Mandarin. Whether they're compatible, I don't know. I've been trying to go with the tried and true NR Mandarin side of it, and if I go to purchase, I want to stay on that side.
Yeah, Mandarin itself is darker, right? Yeah, it's darker, isn't it?
It's super bright.
It's bright.
Not NR Mandarin. NR Mandarin looks great. Seen NR Mandarin, but I'm just saying Mandarin is Mandarin by itself. Is it darker or not? I don't know.
I'm not
For
sure.
me, I honestly thought they were the same thing.
I thought they were too, but then I was told
people were just getting them wrong or just taking off the NR and not putting it on there. It's like saying TSK, but now they're just saying TS.
Yeah, I think with any of those genes, it's just best to spend the extra money and get it from the source. Like, if you're gonna get it, drop the bag, do it the right way, and you'll be set.
I've even heard it on lace. You know, the rebuttal
Mhm.
on lace. Just make the super, and then you ain't got no problems. Because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
everybody
hey,
starts
I
to make
went
the
that route
supers
too.
and like,
I
I
said,
have
when,
no
as
question
soon as I
about
seen it, I
it.
said, I gotta have white lace. So we just picked up white lace. I said, I gotta have white lace to know. Need to
Waylace
know.
is
No, no,
awesome.
yep,
Awesome
no
thing.
questions about it. Just don't even, yeah. That way
Wow.
you don't have to. That's even with Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper went
Hmm.
super. I was like,
Yep.
okay,
That
I
went
know.
super too.
So when
Yeah.
I make something, everything's gonna be grim. So you can't even question me because it came from a super.
I think that's one of the downfalls, and it probably will continue to be one of the downfalls moving forward into this social media world is the listings, the like on purpose, not like
Fake
accidental.
hats,
Yeah,
fake
Yeah,
hats, stuff like that.
it's just because you can basically just take a picture with your phone, post it, and you ship wherever and be done with it. And then they'll basically be overnight businesses and close the next day.
Hmm.
well,
So
see, and with the whole fake het things, and
mhm.
when you listen to these guys talk about genetics, and if you get a partho animal, but you think it's a het because it came from a male that was visual to a
Uh-huh.
female, and then she's a partho animal, you sell her. You just sold an animal that wasn't het. When they get it tested, you're like, "There's no way," because this was breeding. So you
Right.
figure out, okay, it's a partho,
But
or
it's still,
andro.
that's rare. But you can still, I would assume that person can explain that. Obviously, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you'll have to. You'll be like,
Yeah.
"No, I think it's this," but
But you have
okay,
people
let's
that's
figure this out.
just they just they just winging it. They just, hey, this is this.
Now,
It's more said they
if
won't be
I don't
around long.
know, I don't know if you guys could clarify this for me because the parthenogenesis is where it's a clone of the mom, right?
Yep, yep,
Uh,
Because didn't Justin recently I think it was called
andro.
the androgenesis, where it was
Yep,
a clone of the dad, correct?
the dad took
mhm,
over the egg. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. That's pretty
I
cool.
wonder if that's happened more than what people really actually know of.
right.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But most likely,
Science.
you get a super.
Yeah, most likely no.
But then these guys would be like, "Oh, the mom was carrying a gene too. I didn't know. She was covered up. She got a bunch of other genes. See, she's carrying it too. Look, what did she produce? That's
So I guess
that's
my
yeah.
question would be also to you now, being back into it from you being into it younger. Have you had any issues being back into it now? What have they been?
Yeah, so last year was the first year I had a snake die inside the egg. That was the first time I've experienced that.
Oh
It was a
yeah.
really nice hypo combo too. It looked like it was possibly the all gene combo, the best one out of the clutch. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it looked like it didn't absorb any nutrient from the egg. Like it just was squishy and, it was developed, but just didn't look like it absorbed any nutrients. When I first started, I had a big pied female, and I didn't know anything about thermostats or
Mm,
that the heat pads could malfunction and burn your snake. And I had that pied get burned by my heat pad, and unfortunately, it ended up getting scale rot and passing away. So that was a really
Mhm.
big loss in the beginning. That was my first like big investment female. She was a visual, just pied female. Um, and I raised her up to about 1,000 grams, and then that happened. And then, other than that, we had one other snake die out of nowhere. I'm not really sure what caused it. So
mhm.
she was eating, doing really well, and she was a really, really nice animal. She was a pastel chocolate DG hypo, and we fed her a rat pup one day, and I'm not sure if she didn't completely kill the rat pup or what, but the next day we came in, she had regurgitated it and was dead. And she was filled with like fluid. So I'm not sure if maybe the rat pup was still alive and maybe messed some stuff up internally
Right.
or what had happened with her. But
Yeah.
those would probably be the biggest issues that I have. Other than that, everything has been pretty smooth. I haven't had any issues as far as like with customers or anything like that. All my customers have been fantastic. Um, I haven't really had any issues with other breeders or drama
Good.
or anything like that. I kind of just try to stay in my own lane and focus on what I'm doing. All that
Right.
other stuff to me is just a distraction.
Yep.
but
No,
it
definitely.
also is like a magnet too, because you'll pull like-minded people towards you.
Right.
People, and typically, I always say the same thing. Whether it's the geckos or the ball pythons. It's nothing wrong with working deals and doing this and doing that, but business still have to stay business. And I mean, long as business stays business, I don't really see how, theoretically speaking, you end up running into issues until you start playing favor games and send me this and I just don't want to deal with none of that. Help people. Information a lot of time is absolutely free. Love the content that you're putting out. The funny reels and the comedy side of things. I think it relaxes people, especially new people, to be a little bit more open to. I'm sure you get some questions. You're like, what? This is so simple to answer, and you just kind of. But a lot of people are afraid to ask questions. A lot of people are afraid to ask questions. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe I'm just like easily approachable. I don't know, but a lot of the people that ask me questions are people that don't have any snakes for the
Right.
majority of the part. Most of like the breeders, like myself and you guys already have like a knowledge of what's going on, so you understand it a little bit better.
Right.
But I've had a lot of first time people. Most of my customers were first time, snake buyers, which was really cool. And I still stay in contact with them and help them. They'll reach out to me every so often with a question or,
Right.
send me updated pictures of the snakes, which I really like, which is cool. I like to see how they're doing. And I think you got to communicate with people. You have to ask
Absolutely.
questions if you want to learn and get, yourself to a high level. You have to do that. And that's something that I had to do too, because I'm kind of reserved. And when I first got in, I didn't talk with too many people. My
Right.
mentor realistically was YouTube, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was just on YouTube watching other people, like straight up. That was my mentor, was YouTube.
YouTube didn't talk back.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was my mentor for sure. And I was watching like all the people that had great reputations and were doing things that I wanted to emulate, like Justin,
Yeah.
Brian, Miguel.
Right.
I mean, I know some people have mixed feelings about Miguel, but usually they're just people that don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Right.
And but like I took different parts of what they do and kind of implemented it into my own, process and what I like to do. And when you start doing it, you'll pick up things too. Like there's been so many things I've learned over the last 3 seasons of pairing my snakes and just like observing the snakes myself. So like doing it is where you're going to learn the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And unfortunately, you're going to have some that don't make it. And something, and we had very expensive snake die, and went, and to the vet and tried to have all the stuff done after it passed and the exam and all of that. And they're like, hey, it just died. Now you're spending more money, but they kind of just telling you nothing new, but you just still trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. That's what I try to remind people at the end of the day is they're living animals. Like they're gonna do what they want to do. Like if they don't want to lay eggs, they ain't gonna lay eggs. If they don't want to eat, they're not gonna eat. Like you just gotta be patient. Obviously, make sure temperature, humidity is good. Make sure they're healthy and all that stuff. But they're gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day.
Every time
I've had males that bred to 2 females and then said, hey, I'm not eating no more, and go off of food for 8 months. And you're like, I don't know what to do. I've already changed your bedding. I've shampooed you. I've washed you. I gave you a bath, scrubbed you down, put you back in the tub. And you still like, nah, I'm good, homie. I don't need to eat. Like, whatever.
It's funny though. You have a lot of newer or first time buyers, like you said, buying snakes even now. Where prices may be down, or you still have a lot of people getting in. I think one of the main questions we get asked, even for non-customers, maybe someone else sold them a snake. I'm not gonna say it's not appropriate, but per the age and size of the snakes, setting them up in some of the enclosures, whether they do tub or actual enclosure, 9 out of 10 times, almost 10 out of 10 times, that has been a lot of the questions from the new people. They'll set up send pictures, a beautiful 40-gallon setup with, hides everywhere, everything, thermostat, the whole 9 yards, and they'll put a 150-gram baby in there and it won't eat. That's literally almost every time that's what happens. And it's like, well, keep your enclosure for when it gets bigger, but you're going to probably have to order this. Something
Yep.
small, give them room to move around. They like, tighter spots. They feel more secure. At least get them eating on a regular basis. And then after a shed, a few 100 grams, move them over and give it a try. And luckily,
Absolutely.
it's working for everyone.
Yeah,
The biggest
that I
thing
would
that I
say.
tell them is when they have that tank situation and they have the 40
with it.
gallon or whatever,
Yep.
just get a little Tupperware tub, put it over the heat spot, put some moss in there, and cut a little hole and have it as a little high spot because they
Yep.
will stay in there and just feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great
Mhm.
tip. That's a great
Yep.
tip. Yeah,
Yep.
the only other issue I've ever had, not an issue, but like something where a customer was doing something wrong, was they were offering the snake the wrong kind of food. They were trying to feed them frozen thawed, and I had raised it up on live. So
Right.
they were like, "Why is the snake not eating? Like I've been offering it food, all this stuff." And as I started asking questions, I realized they're feeding it frozen thawed, and I was like, "Look, offer it live, and I'll teach you how to slowly
Right.
transition it to the frozen thawed." But it
Mhm.
wants to eat live. As soon as they threw a live mouse in there,
Tear it up.
ate.
Done.
Exactly. So sometimes it's just like simple stuff that you could change real easy.
Wow.
Have you had those customers that are kind of like, I want to feed frozen thawed because I don't like the whole thing
Yes.
of killing it, even though
Yes,
it's
I
dead in
have.
your hand. But yeah,
Mhm.
I have. I've transitioned quite a few babies to frozen thawed because some of my first time buyers were people that just wanted a pet. They didn't
Right.
want to get into breeding. They just wanted a cool looking pet, and they had requested that I ship them. I transition them to frozen thawed. And a lot of times when that happens is when like they want to do a payment plan or it's too cold for me to ship, and that way I have time to do it for them.
yeah.
That right there with Beast Morse. Oh man, thanks for commenting. Ran into that issue as well. Luckily, we were able to help them out. Where, cause number one, when we tend to feed now, like on a Tuesday, and so we ship out, let's say on a Tuesday for Wednesday. Obviously, we're not going to feed. It's not going to hurt them to skip a week, especially to get them acclimated to their new surroundings. So we always tell them, hey, don't even try to feed them. Have a nice setup. Send us a picture of your setup. Make sure the hotspot is good. Everything's good. Actually, leave them alone for 24, 40 hours. Just peek in on them. Don't even touch them. Just let them get adjusted. And then after that, start working with them. It's your pet. I get it. But for the most part, you want to keep, and that's just what we tell them, keep handling everything limited. As a new keeper, people who's been doing this stuff for years, they get it, they understand, and then that following week, offer food. We were getting at the beginning stages, customers literally open up the box, put it in the enclosure, and try to feed. You got too much stuff going on for that new hatchling that you just got, and like he said, end up taking it to the pet store, trying to figure out why it's not eating, take it to the vet, and next week you just got way too much. You're gonna force the snake to literally go off food at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
So,
another thing that I do with my customers too is every snake that I send out, I print out a care sheet that I personally wrote, and I send the care sheet with the ball python as well. And I refer them to all YouTube videos I have posted of different questions I get asked about or how to do certain things. And that way they have something to reference to if I can't get back to them like immediately. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
another advantage to doing social media is you can have those videos for people to refer to. That way they get a visual rather than you just texting them or emailing them back and they still don't understand what you're saying.
Yep.
The
That's the
visual
same
part
thing.
helps a lot. Helps a lot because I've
Definitely.
had customers, they get the snake in. Oh, he's very active, and you're sitting on the couch with them taking pictures and sending it to me. I'm
We're like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Not yet.
Just got him.
Like,
In a few days, you're gonna call me. It's not eating. It's
Yep.
not eating. Why is he not eating? Because you were playing with him when you first got out the box.
I have a rule.
Well, you seemed like you wanted to come out.
I got a rule for any new snake I got. I don't hold them until they eat. Until the first time they eat, I don't mess with them at all. And that's my rule. And I tell the customers I send to before they even get it the same thing. I said, hey, when you get the snake, leave him alone for at least like 5 to 7 days. Try to feed him. And if he eats, that means everything's all good and you can start messing with them.
Right. Oh, but I talked to him a while back. So hopefully he understands. He gets it now, 1,000%. He's off and running. Bought him a rack. He's doing his thing, working his projects. But we were actually talking in depth. We actually FaceTime, I believe it was on Instagram at one point. We were talking the earlier stages before he really got rocking and rolling. And he had a beautiful, beautiful clown combo. And just like everyone else, we get super excited, with our collections or with our animals. And it's his pet, but it was it's still a very, very nice clown combo he has. So, he has sent me pictures. He's, at the store with it on his neck, and he's here, and so I hit him up, say, you told me you wanted, my advice. Do you really want my advice? He's like, yeah. So I told him, I said, I wouldn't go everywhere, with the snake. And the reason being is, you're putting yourself in the situations where, you're subjecting your pet, your animal, your future breeder, whatever it may be, to situations that aren't controlled whatsoever. It's already, not controlled. Even in a situation we can't control whether they go on and off food, it's really on to them. But now we're putting them in these situations where you have outside sources, stuff that they're not is not normal to them. They're not in Africa being carried on your shoulders around the stores and shop. So it's like, to keep it a little basic, have an outing, enjoy them, take them in the yard, do things that are very simple and controllable to a certain extent. That's always been my suggestion, especially when you're dealing a lot of time with your investment. I mean, could you imagine, on a daily basis, or a weekly basis, taking your collection like outside in the yard and letting them roam around and man, it's just so many issues.
I'd be stressing out.
Yeah.
I even get scared when I take them outside to take pictures sometimes.
Right.
I'd be looking in the sky to make sure there's not like birds of prey and stuff that can come down and grab them. I'm not even playing, because I got in my yard, I have a pair of owls that live in one of the trees. I'd be looking out for them and be like, yeah, you're not coming near my snake today. So yeah, you gotta be careful. He's
looking at her.
For real.
We're about to come get you.
I'll be on guard.
Yep. Yeah, so he even said it. Yeah, that's why he was going on rodent pickups, and he had to take a snake with him. He had a restaurant clown.
And
I'm like, yeah, really, man, you don't want to risk that. Mites and this and that. Man, yeah, you don't risk it.
It's really hard to leave them alone if you're really passionate about the snakes too. Like even me, I struggle with certain parts of leaving them alone. Like when I put a male and a female together, I'd be checking them all the time, trying to see if they're locked. And I got to remind myself, leave them alone. Just let
it drives Audra. It drives her nuts, because for me, it helps me that we're doing it full time and everything, but it helps me that we have so many, because it's like, okay, now I mean, I can look at, your favorite for that week, but it's like, now you got all these others to check up on. You got the spot clean. You got to do complete tub swaps. And by that time, man, you're checking up probably once a day per snake. You're not really like on them. So for me, it clogs the brain enough with the logistics of the everyday cycle that it helps me that we have so much.
Absolutely.
For me, my problem is my addiction is when the eggs. Once I have the eggs and they're in the incubator.
Oh, yep.
I'm doing this with the flashlight on the outside.
Oh my!
No eggs are going bad in there. All right. Yeah. Anybody pip? As soon as somebody pips, I'm like a crackhead. Oh yeah. You want to come on? Hoping the rest. Come on.
Man, this is the longest we've ever had an empty incubator. This is the longest we've ever had an empty, and we've had 2 seasons so far, but this is the longest our incubator has been empty. We've had like 6 or 8 OVs so far, so
I might have a clutch before you, because I got a female that's probably gonna lay any day now.
I'm ready
to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we're getting our first like 25th. I think that's around. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed most of my females were starting to build later this year. All of them like started building around like January, like last month.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I'm anticipating some of these clutches in the summertime probably.
Okay.
A lot of them are going later this year.
Yeah. I got a few females that I know started getting that glow. So there's 3 of them.
Hell yeah.
So last season, how many clutches did you end up with?
Last season I did 4 clutches.
Okay.
Out of 10 pairings. So we went 4 for 10.
Nice.
So it's a solid year. The highlight animal I would say I produced from last year, which I sent out to Darius, was a banana yellow belly spot nose clown female. She was beautiful. She was probably my favorite production from last year. And then I only held back one animal from last year. I needed a visual hypo male, and I produced a GHI yellow belly hypo, and he's really cool. And then other than that, everything else I sold. I only got like 4 or 5 left from my production from last year.
Now, some of those females that didn't go, are you going to pair them to the same males, or are you going to go different male?
So I actually paired them. Most of them I actually sold. I rehomed them.
Oh, okay.
So most of them were snakes I was planning on selling, even if they did go. So a lot of them are no longer in the collection. And then one of them I did repair with the same male this year, and she reabsorbed. But I'm probably going to end up selling her too. She's a pastel OD yellow belly. She has no recessives or anything, and I really don't have any plans for her. I was trying to breed her to Future, the super asphalt lab male, so I could make some freeway stuff that was het for lab, but she ended up reabsorbing, and she's probably going to go as well.
Okay.
But yeah, most of them one of them I did not breed this year, the banana clown female that produced that baby I was telling you guys about. I did not breed her because the male I want to breed to her was not ready yet.
Okay.
So I gave her the year off. And the hypo that produced one of our hypo clutches last year, I also gave the year off too, because she was just a little bit small after laying that clutch. And I didn't quite like her body condition at the start of the breeding season. So I let her take the year off.
Okay. Are you breeding your own rodents, or are you picking them up every week?
I'm buying them, unfortunately.
Oh, well, we're in the same boat. We produce some. We're buying. Yep.
I'm buying them. That's definitely a goal down the road, though. It's something that's going to have to happen because I'm anticipating holding back a lot of babies this year, especially from that Confusion Starburst clutch. I want to get a good amount of holdbacks from that, and it's going to be more mouths to feed. So eventually, rodent breeding is going to be on the agenda.
What are you going to go for?
That's what I'm about to say.
What's that?
What are you going to go for? What are you going to mainly breed?
I probably would breed ASFs. I probably would do the ASFs. Yep. Now, I don't primarily feed my collection ASFs. I feed them primarily rats. I really only use the ASFs for like stubborn females or stubborn males. Or if I see the females are getting really big follicles, I'll give them ASFs just because they're smaller. And if they're still eating, I notice they won't take a bigger meal at that point. Like they'll take the ASF, but they won't take, a small rat in comparison. So yeah, I'll probably go with the ASFs and maybe a little bit of rats. The guy that I get my rats from, he breeds ball pythons too. So I'd probably consider him like a mentor when I do start doing it and kind of pick his brain. And he breeds both ASFs and rats. And I think he breeds mice as well. But he said the mice are like a nightmare.
Yeah,
he said the mice are awful.
Pain in the behind. Yeah.
For me, it's just that they start to smell quicker for me. I'm like, dang, it's only been a couple of days. Why do I smell you guys already? Like, that's the only thing that kills me with the mice.
Yeah, I find that they tend to like kill each other off a little faster than anything else.
Do they? The ASFs?
The mice, yeah.
Yeah, ASFs, man, they will mess a boy up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta save them. Pull them out quick, because they'll start chomping at him.
Oh wow, yeah, nah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I haven't heard too many good things about breeding mice.
Yeah, pain.
Yeah, no,
pain. So 1 for 10, you had 4 last season. This season, you're going for how many again this season?
We had 14 pairings. Right now, it looks like about 6 are definitely going to go. I'd say between somewhere to 6 to 9. So this will be our most production this year.
Yeah.
And where have you, for people that's in our same lane, as far as trying to sell some of our sellable inventory, where are you moving most of your inventory at? Instagram or?
I'd say a little bit of both. Instagram, I'll usually get some like DMs as to what I got available, and I'll send them the link to the Morph Market store, and they'll go on there and inquire. The majority have been on Morph Market. whether it was auctions or just, a straight up
Right.
inquiry. And then believe it or not, if you guys are on TikTok, I suggest going live. And I've sold a ton of snakes on TikTok live, just a ton of
Really?
snakes on TikTok live. Yeah.
That's what's Riker Reptiles? That dude, what's his name? He
Leland.
does the same thing. He says Leland, yes.
Leland. Yep.
Leland does that. I always think of Star Search when I think of that guy because
Yep.
he was on Star Search. You see that video?
I did. He's the man. He's really cool. I like Leland.
Yeah,
He's
no,
funny.
he is. We chop it up all the time, but I always think about that.
So TikTok. See, Audra does all the TikToking. I never really get on TikTok.
Now
so
you gotta be careful though on TikTok. You can't say a monetary value. So like instead of saying like this snake is $100, I'll say like this snake is worth 100 cookies, and I'll have a moderator in the chat that will actually like pin that while I'm showing the snake. So if anyone wants to know the morph, they'll pin the morph and the price. But you can't say dollars or they'll restrict your live. So that's if you do it, just be careful.
Yeah. Like cookies, apples.
Cookies, apples. See, Palm has been awesome. Palm Street has been awesome too. So
yeah, I've heard good things about Palm Street. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah, we got one coming up. Darren's gonna have one soon. So
yeah,
I'll check it out.
Well, I gotta prove, but I gotta do the steps of going through it. That's the part of doing the live. I think with the lady. So doing that part. That's the last part. Last step.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then other than that, other sales have just been word of mouth, and most of the word of mouth ones are just like local people to me that they don't want to get a snake shipped to them. They just want to buy one, pick it up, and half the time I'll usually meet them just at my chiropractic office with the snake, and we'll do the deal right in the parking lot.
They're like, "What are you selling out there?"
Actually, that's funny you said that. When I bought the Super OD DG Pied from DD Exotics, he's in Rhode Island, so he's local to me. He met me at my office and we did the deal right in the parking lot, and I went back inside with the snake and went back to work.
Like, I just bought a snake. Like outside, you did?
I was like, I just dropped a bag. I just dropped a bag outside in the parking lot.
Oh, bag in the parking lot. Oh man! Hey, if your coworkers knew what you spent in the parking lot, they were like, "What kind of drugs you out there buying?"
I showed them the snake after we closed and all the patients left. I showed them the snake, and they were like, "How much was this worth?" And I was like, "You really want me to tell you? You probably won't believe me."
They probably hit you with there's no way I would have did that. Yeah, they always did.
But my coworkers are cool because they've all started like following me on social media and stuff, and they're actually starting to learn about the snakes, which is cool. So now they're starting to understand like why they're expensive or why they're not expensive, and they're learning about ball pythons, which is cool. And a lot of my content, I try to orient it towards people that don't know about snakes. I try to pull people into our industry rather than just post stuff that the three of us would really enjoy. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's important. That's the only way we're going to grow.
Absolutely.
Pretty much, they're going to be like, "That's more than a Chanel bag." Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
More than a Chanel bag.
Some of them are worth more than cars. For real.
So, in a week, how many man hours are you putting in on your collection?
Oh man, dude, I'm a little bit psychotic. Like as soon as I get home from work, I come in here and I spend all night in here. I go to bed literally at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I wake up early in the morning and go to work my full-time job. I'd say probably about like 40 hours, but a lot of times I'm just chilling. Like I'm chilling in here. Like I'll be making content, cleaning, whatever the case may be, ultrasound and like all different stuff. But I love it. So to me, it's not like work. Like I genuinely enjoy coming in here after work. Like it's my release.
Right.
Yep. That's your peace. Your zen, your peace.
No, I'd say a good 40 hours on top of my 40-hour regular job.
Gosh. And your rodent supplier, has he ever not had you covered for a week or two?
No, he's actually been really consistent. I got a couple different rodent suppliers, man. You have to. Because I learned that the hard way in the beginning. Because I even will go to a pet shop if I have to. Like I don't care. I do whatever I got to do to get them rodents.
Your
Yeah,
pet shop
pet.
doesn't have a number of what you could buy. They're like,
No,
okay, we can only sell you this many.
I actually got so close with the owner of the pet shop that he'll let
Oh,
me
okay.
call him and put in an order if I need to, like with his rat supplier, and
Okay. Oh, so you went
he'll
to like
order
the
it
mom
for
and
me.
pop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mom and
low
pops,
key
not
pet
like
shop.
a
Yeah,
Petco.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Nah,
if
hell
you were
no,
going
hell
to
no,
Petco, ooh, $17
hell no,
each. It was like $17 each.
hell no.
And you gotta sign a form for each one. I'm like, wait a minute.
I be going to the low key shops. Even when I lived in Daytona, when I was down in school, when I was feeding my snakes down there, I became good friends with the owner of this pet shop called Mr. Pet Man, and he would do the same thing. Now at that time, I didn't have that many snakes. I probably had like 7, but
Right.
still,
Yeah.
you got to definitely. That's where networking comes in handy. Like, you
Mhm.
got to meet people and
Definitely.
get in their good graces, and they'll help you out.
Now you're in Rhode Island. Shoot, I'm just about to say, how far would that be to travel to Tyler's Toxic Balls? I know he's in New York.
It depends what part of New York he's in. If he's in like the city area, probably about like 3-hour drive. If he's in
Okay.
like upstate New York,
I think
near
upstate New York.
if he's
Yeah.
near like Buffalo, it's probably about a 5-hour drive.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
too much driving.
it's far. Yeah, it's too far. Yeah, now, dude, my rat supplier, he lives 5 minutes away from me, so
Oh,
it's pretty
yeah.
Oh
nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Does he breed? Also, does he breed snakes too,
he
or
does.
just
He
rodent?
does. He
Okay.
breeds ball pythons as well. His name is Infinity Morphs. If you guys want to check him out, he works.
Oh yeah,
kind of-
yeah.
Infinity
They
Morphs. Yep.
actually purchased from us before.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a good dude. His name is Ben. He works a lot of clown stuff.
I believe he bought a super asphalt male from us, I believe. Okay,
He's a good
cool.
dude.
Wow. See, tapping in, still networking.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, man.
And I help him out too. He doesn't have an ultrasound machine, so I bring mine over there and I help him ultrasound his snakes. I've helped him pop and sex his snakes too. So like, we help each other out, which is nice. And I consider him a friend. I don't just look at him as like my rat supplier, but
Rat breeder. Yeah.
But
Yep.
until I met him, I couldn't get ASFs anywhere around here. He's the only person with ASFs. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really tough to find ASFs up here.
I would
Well,
assume.
that's gonna be your guy to start breeding them from.
Yep,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
he does really well with the production. He's on top of it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
It's an everyday thing. You got to check on them, make sure they're watered, especially with the African softers. Those guys, if you have a big enough hole where they can pull down food, they're gonna pull it all down and put it all in the bedding.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. And then
He
they
said,
won't
yeah,
eat
they
it.
will. And then they won't eat it.
Little ass, man. Like, they won't eat it. They want you to bring more. Go ahead and fill that up again, player. You're like, you didn't eat that.
Dude, I found that the mice and the ASFs are so freaking smart, dude, especially the mice.
Yeah.
Like, because I feed my hatchlings mice, and I still go to the mom and pop shop for those. And those mice are freaking smart, man. They figure out ways how to get out of the box. Like, they're just, I'm like, bro, like, I got to lock them in like 3 different like containers to make sure they don't freaking escape.
Golly, that's
They're
crazy.
smart.
Yeah, they'll chew through those boxes. I remember back in the
Oh,
day when I
yeah.
first started getting into it. You get those little Petco boxes. It's
Yep.
a wrap. Before you get home, you're like, this dude's already face is looking at me.
Oh, I've had one get out of my car, chasing it around in my car, trying to catch it.
After that, I told him it ain't safe, man. You know what? I need like a little plastic container to keep this in or something. I had to figure
Seriously.
it out before I started really actually going through. They have those big rodent containers where you can hold them and they hold the water bottle and everything. And so I switched to that. It was like, nah, them little plastic bags, that little box is not cool.
I bought me one of those for that specific reason, and I bring it with me to go pick the rats up, and they just put them in there for me, which is awesome. Because, dude, when that one got out of my car, I was stressed. I was like, this thing running around in my car.
They'll chew up wires in your car and everything.
Hell yeah. They don't play.
Could you imagine going on a date with a mouse running around in the car?
The funny thing is, my girlfriend was in the car when it happened, and she was like, I felt something touch my leg, and I was like, what are you talking about? And
gosh!
I get out the car, and there's a hole in the box that the mouse was in, and I was like, oh no, this is what you felt touching your leg.
She's like, you're lucky she loves you.
Yeah.
Serious.
You're like, something
She
touched me.
loves
There's nothing in here.
Oh
she
god.
actually loves the snakes. She really loves the snakes a lot. She just doesn't like the feeding part. She's very sensitive to the feeding part. So like I don't feed them around her, nothing like that. Because I've seen her cry, literally cry,
Oh, yeah.
like because that snake ate the mouse.
Man.
So she's sensitive to it.
Hey, nature's crazy, man. Nature is crazy. I watched Brothers in Blood on that lions.
Oh yeah.
Boy, them lions are no joke. They will
Oh,
kill a cub and eat it. That's how serious they are.
Oh yeah.
They are serious.
Mother
I'm like,
Nature
nope.
doesn't have mercy for anybody. Believe me.
Yeah.
and sometimes
As
that's
long as my
life.
snakes eat, I ain't even tripping. My snakes need to eat. So it's
Definitely.
a circle of life.
Frank said it, eat or be eaten. Yep.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Man. But we done had you, bro. 2 hours. 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
That went by fast.
yeah.
No, it did because we were having fun, man.
Hell yeah.
Cracking up.
Having fun.
I enjoy watching your shows. I try to hop on and check them out on Sundays when you guys are on. I do enjoy them.
We appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I watch your YouTube, so that's why I hit you up and asked you questions.
I
I'm
seen
like,
you in the
what were you talking
comments.
about?
I seen you in the comments, bro.
I try to make sure
you
we
hit
share
me up.
with
And you were like, "What are you pairing that to?"
I need to know.
Like, what's the secret? All right, I'll tell you, bro. Don't worry. I gotta leave some suspense. I gotta get you to come back and watch the video.
Oh,
Hey, that's right.
No, that's true too. Because the suspense, I was like, nah, I ain't waiting till next week.
I need to know.
It's gonna be a really long time. It's gonna be like years before that video comes out.
See? Hey, I'm the same way when I watch series. If I watch a series on TV on Netflix, I gotta watch the whole thing. I can't be like, okay, let's wait until the next day to watch the next show. No, I'm good. I'm watching the whole thing.
I'm like that too.
Well,
I feel your pain.
You want to get end of the season, this 2025 production season, see what you done produce, see what them holdbacks is looking like. I'm really interested to see what you produce this year, see what you end up having available too. I know Darren's heavy in that lab. Y'all kind of sharing that lab project big. He's in Dreamsicle big, and he's definitely digging deep in that.
I know he is.
Ultramel. That's kind of the only, I guess, albino that we're really digging in, deep in on. But he's working lab, so I know he's gonna be excited.
He is. I've been watching him. I've been paying attention to him for sure.
Him and Miggy Morphs out there, they both pushing that.
Shout out to Miggy. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, well, we should produce some visual Dreamsicle stuff this year. A lot of pied stuff that'll be het for lavender. And we should have a good amount of lavender combinations as well this year. So this year it's mostly all lavender and pied stuff. I don't have any clown pairings this year, and no hypo stuff or DG stuff. Most of my DG stuff I'm still raising up because I got in that project late.
Right. So you guys heard it. You're looking for some het lab stuff, some pod stuff. He's gonna have some available. You're gonna want to hit him up. And if you follow him on Instagram, you know he got a strong following already.
On Instagram,
TikTok as well, and Morph Market. But we appreciate having you guys on, watching us this Sunday. We're going to be back on 2 more weeks, and hopefully we see you guys at the Southeast Reptile Expo. Darren, you going to be at that one, or you're not sure yet?
No. I'm not going to make it. I thought about it. I'm not going to make it, though.
I'll be there holding it down. Yeah.
Where you at, Darren? Are you in Cali?
I'm in California, Northern Cali.
Yeah, nice. Who y'all got winning the Super Bowl? Who y'all got tonight in the game?
Shoot, I just found out who was in the Super Bowl. I just found out the Super Bowl was today.
with the company, we kind of gamble on squares. So whatever the quarter's in that's what I want to win. As long as my name is in that quarter, I'm good. That's all I care about. I mean, and the halftime, because I got to see Kendrick Lamar, so I'm good.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Kendrick's doing it. Yeah. I forgot Kendrick's doing it. That'll be cool.
Oh yeah, almost forgot. We have also a giveaway or giveaways tonight as well on Flawless Crested Geckos. So you want to come through and hang out over there? I believe it's 7:00. So 2 more hours up and rocking over there as well. And anybody that can make it through to the expo, come holler at us, take pictures, talk snake, talk geckos, come hang out, take pictures, and we are out. I hope y'all enjoy it.
Peace, you guys. Thank
Late,
you.
late.
Thank you for having me on today. It was an honor.
Anytime.
For coming on. It was cool.
You already
Hell
know.
yeah. We got to do it again sometime for sure.
Oh no, we surely will.